Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Here you can see we have once again some more edits that I've done through Photoshop, which most of the time they're just different variants of piston cup racers. Sometimes there's color changers, but as of late I've been doing a lot of stuff with the piston cup racers, mostly the Cars 1 original variants, and this is another one of those. I haven't posted about these anywhere. Typically I'll post my edits on my Instagram, which is just Epic Green Thunder, same as here. But for those, I didn't do that. I wanted to turn them into a whole video, a little surprise, and there will be some more videos, hopefully like this one soon, of some stuff I haven't posted elsewhere. But yeah, you can see a little tease of what you're in for. The main premise is it is all the original Piston Cup racers from the first Cars movie, but they're now like just blacked out. You can see the examples there of what I'm talking about, because I did it by accident when I was working on another edit, and I thought it looked really cool, so I figured I would just actually do it for all 36. 34, and you'll see what I mean later. We're going in, I believe, numerical order. It might be a little different just based if I go to the first one. Yeah, Rusty Corn Fuel. Yeah. So this should be in number order, but there might be a few points where it's not. Anyways, let's go to the first car. That is Rusty Corn Fuel, who is already a pretty, dark purple. So it doesn't look too different, but it definitely looks a little cleaner, a little sleeker. Just overall, I don't think there's a few of these edits that, I think the car looks worse. But the vast majority of them, like this one, I think it looks a whole lot better. I just shut my computer off somehow. I don't know what that was. Is that meant to happen? Nope. Alright, next we got Dale Earnhardt Jr. And he, of course, is mostly a red with already black stripes. So once I turned that red into the black, it pretty much just looks like he has no color to him. Unless you, of course, look at the hood logo, which still has that, red compass. I think I think this is one of the ones that looks a little less clean. And that probably has something to do with the fact that, the original version is like an already iconic look, especially in real life. Next up, we have Alan Aiken Axler. And, he's already black. So I just kind of figured I'd mess around with the flames on the side, and this is one of the ones that I think looks a whole lot worse. This one looks pretty sick. We got Chuck Armstrong. The way it just, he's already usually a pretty dark blue, but I think it's a very noticeable difference, unlike Rusty Corn Fuel. The blue hood logo just pops. It feels like something, it just feels realistic, and I like that. You're going to be hearing me say that it looks somewhat realistic a whole lot, just because I feel like I did a decent job on some of these. This is one of the few that I didn't edit. This is Dirksen D'Agostino. This is a screenshot from a Mr. Docket video, shout out. I believe this is a prototype, maybe a factory custom, I don't exactly remember, of a blacked out version of Dirksen that was supposed to be maybe in the Motor Speedway of the South set. But instead of doing an edit, I figured I would just use the one that already exists. And of course you can see the main difference is that the giant, this rectangle, whatever shape you want to call it, patch of green that is typically on his front end is now just blacked out. Got Kevin Racing Tire, one of the ones you saw on the first slide. Love the look of this one. This is one of the first ones I did. I like working a lot when I do edits with Kevin Racing Tire, solely because he's got like very distinct colors that you can mess with easily. You have like a brightish red, pink, and a bright yellow. So when doing edits, that makes it a whole lot easier. If you're doing you'll see on the next slide what it looks like when you have colors that are not easily editable. And that would be Eugene Karberski, who is mostly pink and white. And I was trying to get these together as quickly as possible, limited time, but it's hard to make the colors darker than they already are. You can see, with like Kevin Racing Tire, you can see it's very identifiable as like now black. Most of these so far you can tell that. But with Eugene, he's like a bright pink, so when I change the color, it just goes straight to, a gray. And if I wanted to make it fully black, I would have to colorize the whole image and then erase every single part that I didn't want black, which is already hard enough by itself. I have done that a few times with a few edits, and it is super, super hard, and it's usually pretty messy. But especially with a guy like Eugene, where a lot of those pink colors are like fading in and out, you can kind of see like almost like a cloud design all over him. That would look horrendous, pretty much. So I just kind of decided to keep it as gray, and that is the case for a few of the cars you'll see later as well. Here you have Ryan Shields. This is probably in my top 3 favorites. He's of course the teal color. A lot of these I made the decision to not change the color of the wheels, or to change the color of the wheels to black. He'll leave them as that. I believe this is one of the first ones I did where I decided to change the wheels back. Of course, Eugene, I just figured I'd have to do that because those gray wheels would make it look even bleaker than it already is. But yeah, I made the decision to make the wheels blue again, and I also decided to make the hood blue again as well, just because I thought that looks really nice. Because I think the hood is maybe a slightly different color on the actual diecast. If I can just kind of lean back in my chair and take a look at the diecast real quick. And it is a slightly different color. It's slightly darker and slightly brighter. So the actual color of the car is a mix between the two colors. You can kind of see the switch happening towards the end of the word collective on that hood. Then you have Strip the King Weathers. Pretty easy edit to do. He's mostly that sky blue, Dynaco blue, petty blue color that we all know and love. So you change that up. Most of the time it will include the Dynaco logo blue in that, so you have to erase that part. And I think this one also looks pretty clean. A lot of these images, you can tell I couldn't find the best quality. I'm sure there is. Well, that one doesn't count because it's a screenshot. But for these, a lot of these are taken from either the World of Cars forum, BDD, or it's just the best stock image I could find online. And a lot of those, since I was doing these on a school computer, a lot of stuff is unavailable, so they didn't turn out in the best quality, which is why you get the king kind of looking like that. Even though he's one of the most prominent characters, I'm sure I could find a great stock image of him somewhere. He looks a little blurry. Here's another one of those that didn't turn out too well. Ruby Easy Oaks. He is a kind of like pale blue color. Very similar color to the one you see on the hood and on the logo on his right that says a warm start to a cold morning. And obviously, once again, that is a color that is hard to change up. So I decided to leave it as the light gray. There's, as I mentioned, a few more that look like that. Here we go. Claude Scruggs, once again, another one where the the stock image quality was not that great. But you get the general idea. Even though typically he's been an easier car to work with, on this occasion it just didn't work out really. He's more like a dark gray as opposed to like the black you would see on the that he usually has going all over his body. You got the stripes everywhere. You got Johnny Blamer now. This is the edit that originally made me want to do this. I was doing an edit for I believe a color changer Johnny Blamer that went from like black to green or blue or something like that. And this, or I might have been a different color, and I changed it to like black as maybe a placeholder, and I saw that. So this is the car that inspired the whole thing, and I think that looks absolutely wonderful right there. This is probably a top 5 one for me here. Even though the majority of him, once you really take a look at it, is actually that bluish color with all the the trees and whatnot. Got Brush Kerber. This one would definitely be one of my personal favorites if it weren't for the stock image quality, because the majority of him is that kind of yellowish orange color. Instead of trying to differentiate between what should be yellow and what shouldn't be, I just decided to leave the whole thing as like what should be black. Even so, the number with the outlines. It just looks so unbelievably clean. Even the wheat is still without color, and I think that looks really awesome. I just wish I had a better stock image to use, because you can tell the quality is not that great. Okay, Billy Oil Changer. This is a pretty clean one. Once again, not as dark as he should be, but with the wheels and the logos, I think it's clean enough. James Clean Air. This is another little rusty stock image, but it gets the job done. He's already he's just got like the bright green, not the bright green, kind of like I don't know how to describe that green. Maybe like is it jade? Is that the right color, or like olive color? Of course, very similar to the hood logo and left rear quarter panel logo. This is my personal favorite of the bunch. This is Lee Revkin's. One of the better stock image qualities, even though it's still not great. But what I did for this one is if it changed, you see like the pink little like swirls on the side and on the hood, and a little bit going to the back. I don't know exactly what that is. It's a nice little design. That was a little close to the purple color that Lee is, and what I did was I just desaturated and turned down the brightness of the purple. And luckily, the color ranges that I was working with in Photoshop did not include that kind of like pale pinkish purple in it, so I didn't have to do like any extra editing on this. It was automatically super clean, and that's why I just love the look of it, because you got like the black contrasting with the bright yellow, and all the bubbles and all the whatever those pink things are. Just turned out very, very nice. Got Winford, Bradford, Rutherford now. Once again, very similar to Brush Kerber. I would really like the look of this one more if the stock image wasn't in doo-doo quality. You can see how if you really wanted to, if you got like frozen in time and this is what you were stuck at looking at for eternity, you could probably count the pixels if you tried hard enough. Manny Flywheel. This is one it's grown on me since I first made it, maybe over a month ago now. Been putting this video off. Manny Flywheel, once again, love the look of him by himself, and Blacked Out. I think he actually looks worse. Not that I don't think this looks good, but the original purple is just iconic and it looks awesome. The one thing that did throw me off, which is still off-putting me like to this day, is like the stretch of purple on that stripe on his side, which I never really noticed before I did the edit. It just kind of looks out of place now that the rest of the purple is gone. But other than that, that's just on the designers. Obviously, they weren't thinking like, oh, in 18 years in the future, is some guy gonna color change him to black and it's gonna look weird? No, they're not thinking that, because I did this for no reason. But that's really the only thing off-putting about that. And even still, it looks kind of neat. And overall, I think that's a pretty good one. Floyd Mulvihill, yeah, you can tell by looking at this that the stock image was not great. It's the same stock image I used in my custom mainline video back in October of last year, where I made a metallic Floyd Mulvihill using the same stock image. And that turned out like beautifully. That was one of my favorite like simple edits I've ever done. But this guy, for some reason, he just didn't want to change to this color. You get the idea. If this is once again another one, clean your stock image, would have been a baller. Would have been a banger. I can't speak. But because of this, it detracts a lot from the quality. Then you have Misty Motorcross, however you say it. Nothing much to say. The blue wheels kind of carry the whole thing, because stock image quality once again, and it's just the reddish, yellow, orange doesn't like pop as much as you would want it to. Slider Petrolsky. This one is I like the look of this one. It's once again in the same vein of a lot of the cars where if it wasn't a garbage stock image, it would look awesome. But I think I can look past that a little more with this one because it's a little bit better. It's a little bit of a different angle. I think this was maybe from the one they released back in like 2016, 2017, where he came with the little like pit wall symbol thing. That's a very forgotten little subline of the main line. But I like the look. His yellow is now just blacked out, and this you can like. I think the thing that looks so cool is that these stripes, his normal black stripes, you can tell are still there. They're a little bit of a different, like darker color, and that just looks really neat. Crusty Rotor. This is I believe the second to last one that got bit by the light gray bug. Nothing much to say. He just looks like a NASCAR test car from back in the day. Oh no, this is the second to last one. Halt Angus looks a little bit better because he has like all the red colors. But he's just kind of like what color even is that? It's like a weird purple color. So yeah. And then this is the last one. This is Sage Vanderspin, who the last gray one, a light, kind of like a pale light blue car, which is now just light gray. Darren Leadfoot. This is another hard one to do because a lot of times Photoshop wants to mix those yellows in with the greens whenever I don't really work with Darren a lot because the yellows and the greens are a lot very, very close in color when you're looking at like the color range. But luckily I was able to make this one work. I think this one looks really neat actually. One that I've been underrating myself on. Got Davey Apex, who once again is usually just a mostly white and black car himself. There's a little bit of red on his side, which I decided to black out. And I think there might be the prototype that looks something really similar. That looks like really similar to this, or maybe a factory custom. I don't know. I think there might be. Matthew Overtaker, of course. This is the other one I didn't do an edit for. I just took the image from some eBay Chinese seller. Because this is a very, very common factory custom, a very good-looking factory custom, might I add. One of the coolest ideas that's managed to stick around. I just kind of pulled that out of here and threw it in. Got Chick Hicks. This one, pretty easy to do because, just change that green to black. But if you look, any kind of green logo that he had stuck on his side, you can see a shiny wax logo. We can probably identify a few others out in the sea of stickers on his side and on his hood and on his roof and whatnot. I didn't want to have to go and pick those all out. So past the ones that are visible at the front, like the shiny wax and Vitaline ones, I just kind of left it as is. Punchy Wipeout. Oh yeah, I forgot about this guy. The edit I did of him where the red and the blue was swapped looked really nice. This one, not so much. Murray Clutchburn. This is a neat one. The teal. This is another time where I'm really thinking, what color really is this guy? How do you describe that? It's like a teal. It's like a greenish teal. Blacked out now. Once again, looks really clean just because the stock image is blacked out. And I guess now that I'm looking at it, I did not change the Sputter Stop logo back to its original color, which I think would do numbers for it. But overall, and the roof, wow, I didn't change anything back on this guy. If I did that, I think this would be a really cool looking one. It still is, but just detracts from it a little bit. This is another one I really like. Ernie Gearson, super clean. Green pops out. The giant green leaves. Absolutely love this one. Then we have the Icon Lightning McQueen. Nothing much to say about this. There's been factory customs and probably edits and customs of this exact thing or very similar things. I know the Cars 3 neon canceled car thingy. I don't know exactly what that was. Looks kind of similar to this, but figured I'd do it anyways. Got Greg Candyman next. This is another one that I've kind of been underrating myself on. I think it looks really neat. It just looks good. Obviously, it doesn't look right because he's supposed to be that brown color to match the gingerbread theme. But I think he could pull this look off. Ralph Carlo. I like using Ralph for edits as well because of his distinct colors, and I just like him. I just like his design and sponsor and all that. And this is another one. Looks really clean. Stock image could be better, but overall, it's decent. Second to last one, Kevin Shiftwright, my goat. He's clean. He's a nice looking car. Looks realistic. And the last one, Todd Marcus, who is already just red and black. So you just kind of shut off the red, make him fully black, and you call that a day. And that is it. I guess I probably should have put something on this final slide. So we can go all the way back to the original one. That is it for today's video. Been a little while since the last upload. I did have a video of all of my clips gathered from the NASCAR Chicago Street Race that was uploaded, but something like went wrong in the process, and that is a long video, so I'm gonna have to spend time re-uploading that one again, which is gonna suck, but it'll come out eventually. I know those aren't like the most popular videos. I just like having them to have those videos stored in a place where it's not taking up my storage. I can go back and look on it one day. But yeah, that is it for the Blackout Racers video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.